This is RNZ News. I'm Catriona MacLeod. Reactions are mixed across much of the world after a team of Danish researchers proved there is no afterlife of any kind. In response to the findings, at least 30 countries launched ballistic missiles into the territory, showing unprecedented cooperation, even among traditional enemies such as Israel and Iran. Denmark has issued a statement calling the reaction disappointing. One is an idiot, it might be both of them. Shut up, dude. Thank you for joining us on this important bulletin. This is a podcast.
Shut up, dude.
Shut up, dude. Welcome back.
It just rolls off the tongue so well.
It does. It comes out easily.
Shut up, dude.
Yeah. How you doing, Elvis?
I'm not too bad, bro. How's the jizzy?
The jizzy's okay.
Jizzlaning?
Yeah, but I'm in my jizz lane. Yeah.
Staying in
moisturized,
your jizz
bro. Flourishing in my jizz lane.
Maxing well.
Yeah. Hey. Should we talk about some news?
I think we should get into some news. You look amping at the bit.
Bro, I'm keen. My question is, do you want to hear about a little whoopsie that I heard happened, or do you want to talk about a very tragic story?
Tragic story.
Okay.
It's way worse if we laugh at it.
All right. Well, maybe I got them backwards. The story I wanted to talk about is John Barnett. He was a guy who was whistleblowing about Boeing. You know how Boeing a few months ago they had a hatch come out of their plane?
I don't know much of this, but I know something's happened. Yep.
Right. So at first when that came out, apparently Boeing said, we're not going to tell you who the maintenance engineers and stuff were. Like, this is an internal, like, nobody else needs to know that. We're going to protect those people. They've been audited, and they failed something like a third of the 80-odd audits that they had to take to make sure that they were doing stuff properly. They turns out they don't have the maintenance records for that plane. They've just mysteriously disappeared.
Wow.
So this guy, John Barnett, worked at Boeing for 32 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
He left the company in 2017. He has been testifying, right, under oath. He's been providing, affidavits or a deposition. He's been being deposed, I think, for what he knows about the safety procedures at Boeing.
And
well,
it turns out Boeing might be a little bit all shit.
I think maybe it all got a bit much for him, bro, because he blew his fucking brains out in his car the other day.
Now, hang on.
He was partway through the deposition.
So partway through this court case?
Yeah, he was just partway. No, not even the court case. He's telling everybody everything he knows about.
Was he so overcome though that he shot himself twice? Is this one of those situations?
It wasn't twice, but what's interesting about it is, so he's in the middle of a deposition. It was in a retaliation case. So his lawyers say he was in very good spirits, looking forward to putting this phase of his life behind him and moving on. We didn't see any indication he would take his own life. No one can believe it. So this guy exposed safety problems with the 787. Okay, so Boeing said in a statement, "We are saddened by Mr. Barnett's passing. Our thoughts are with his family and friends." The cops say that the coroner has ruled it a suicide and they are investigating. Isn't that two interesting pieces of information to have next to each other?
That's like...
you don't need to investigate a suicide, man.
That's like basic really. Advanced. Like an oxymoron.
Yeah, an oxymoron.
Yeah. What the hell? Wait, you can't... What, you're investigating a suicide?
They said the Charleston City Police are investigating without giving any other details. So they are investigating.
This is getting pretty fishy pretty quickly, eh?
Yeah. Boeing, they don't just make the planes we fly on. They make all kinds of fun stuff.
Like missiles and shit?
Just anything you need to use in Gaza or whatever. Yeah.
Projectiles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Like drones and stuff.
Wait on, so they make planes, drones and stuff.
Yeah, I think so.
So missiles is like, no wonder their stuff's having trouble landing. The rest of their stuff doesn't have to land. No, I have seen heaps of shit about like Boeing's planes not doing well.
Yeah.
And then I did see a little bit. I didn't get this into it, but it's pretty it's like one of those 90s movies.
Yeah, there's a story this week from a Kiwi flight where a plane just suddenly descended like 1,000 feet and 5 people were injured. And They won't say what happened, actually.
Because apparently it's just real rare.
What do you mean?
That's what they reckon. I heard it on the radio.
But did they use the word turbulence or anything?
No,
or did
bro,
they
it was
just
like...
something really rare happened?
Yeah, that was basically it. It was like, look, this thing, it happens. It's incredibly rare. And that was it. And it's like, you didn't say what?
That's reassuring.
You know what it was, though? It's like fucking... They had the Duck Godzilla or some shit. Like, there's some monster angle. There's a pterodactyl or some shit, and the dudes just had to fucking evasive maneuver.
That'd be sick. And then the secret agencies come to him and like, you're never allowed to tell anybody.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
That guy ends up feeling really bad about it and sits in his car too.
Yeah. He blows his mind out in a car.
It's like Boeing just putting up like, oh, we're really saddened by the passing of this guy, and we'd just like to say who wants his Soundgarden and Linkin Park shirts. Because he was really into them while he worked for us, like all the time, talking about them.
These guys, I wonder if they
can't say.
I wonder if Boeing's just been maximizing, right? Like as a capitalist entity with shareholders and stuff, you've got to always try to be squeezing shit out. And I reckon to counteract like losses from COVID and stuff, because they've
just cutting corners on safety.
I think they're cutting corners on safety, and we're just starting to see the effects. And now they'll go back to being safe, and this will be like an anomaly, right?
But like, in order to, if you're in charge,
and
you're like, you make the decision, hey, do this, and they're like, we can't fucking do that. Like, you need to make sure. And he's like, I'll fire you and get someone who will do it. Yeah. And, you know, they play these little games that we see in movies and shit. Sure. Well, that's obviously real. Like, that's what's happening here.
That would seem that way,
some psychopathic CEO who doesn't actually have feelings. Yeah. He just has drive. Has just been like, make this better. I want. And they're like, you can't do this. And that's why this whistleblower guy comes out being like, hey, they totally told us to not do this. It's like when, do you remember that train derailing? Was it last year or the year before? In
Gaza.
In Gaza.
In fucking, no, what's it called?
Palestine.
East Palestine.
East Palestine. Yeah, bro. Yeah. Fuck, it all goes full circle. Yeah, this explosion in Palestine. Oh, I don't want to talk about Gaza. well, lucky you.
Good news, they burned vinyl chloride somewhere else.
Bro. They committed a war crime on accident. Yeah. Like, the train dudes, there was heaps of rail workers who were like, they won't listen to us. Yeah. We keep telling them these are breaking, and the safety protocols just keep getting avoided and dodged. Yeah. But that's because the CEOs they hire, like, you know, I'm sure that's a real thing, that it's like the most, that career, that position, CEO, has the most psychopaths in it.
I believe that's
because you need that to
It's got the most psychopaths and the most, oh no, that's entrepreneurs. No, I was thinking about Toxoplasma gondii.
Is that the thing you get off a cat?
Yeah, it's like they have a symbiotic relationship with a parasite, and if you interact with their poop, you become slightly more endeared to cats. Amazing.
That's the one that makes rats sexually attracted to cats.
So what it does is it makes you, in humans, it makes us less risk averse. That's the bit that you can study. Yeah, so they found heaps of like most entrepreneurs have it.
And motorcycle guys that crash.
Yeah.
It's like a higher number of them that have it than any other thing. No, that's what I'm saying. Though these CEO guys across the board, like corporate America, got told once upon a time, like, oh, this guy's the shit. We need more guys like him. And it was a psycho. And they're like, fuck, this cunt doesn't care about anything. He's just profits. And that's what we want out of our boy. You see our boy? And that guy's in charge now. Yeah. And he's groomed an army of himself. Yeah. What's that?
I mean, if the buck stops with that guy, we should put that guy in prison. But that won't happen for sure.
Just a second.
What do you want to check out here?
Something's hissing in my headphones. I don't know if the audio's on it.
Should we troubleshoot this and come back with another news story? Hold on, guys.
We'll see.
Shut up.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's my fault. I apologize.
There's no need to point fingers.
Putting them at myself.
Well, even when you're pointing fingers, isn't there 3 pointing back?
But if I point at myself, there's 3 pointing at you.
But your hand is in the way, so now you're just pointing at yourself 4 times. Don't get mad at me. So, Boeing and psychopathic CEOs are the reason why all of these safety things are coming up now. Because there's a psycho at the top being like, cut the fucking corner.
Yeah, spending on the non-sexy stuff that keeps everything safe
Hard.
doesn't make friends. That's why there's underinvestment in infrastructure here.
Of course. We know it's not.
That's why they need to... They're replacing 18 kilometers of pipe a year in Wellington, of water pipe. Like, there's not... We're in severe water restrictions here, but fresh drinkable water just comes out of the ground everywhere you go, out into the streets. It's infuriating, but it's because nobody's wanted to put the cash in to fix the fucking pipes. Because then they'd be the one who,
it doesn't
they
look
wouldn't
good.
get a second fucking term.
You're not sexy.
Yeah, but it's, CEOs and politicians have that same sickness.
Except they don't have to rely on people liking them every 4 years.
CEOs?
Yeah.
I think they do, man. I think that's
maybe
how
more
works.
so now, but back in the 90s and shit, like before the internet, I guess it was a bit different because I didn't know any of these cunts' names.
No, but it's just their shareholders have to like them. Like they have to be someone that
but
they can
that's
stomach
different
who's come from a company, like another big company.
But that's way different to a politician.
Yeah,
You gotta go out and fucking,
in a lot of ways.
you know, shake babies and kiss dogs, kiss hands and shit.
You put dogs in there too.
Didn't mean to.
You
Just
shake
slipped.
babies and kiss hands and drown dogs.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how I'd do it.
Do you have any news? Because I have some other news.
I just had one that was bittersweet. Like there's a yin yang to this. Akira Toriyama, the Dragon Ball Z creator, passed away, which yeah, it's pretty brutal for people. That fella made some cool shit, and it was really cool to see the amount of people coming out with tributes to him. But I think the most entertaining of all these was to find out that all Mexican cartels love Dragon Ball Z to the point where they had a ceasefire, like when they found out about this.
A ceasefire.
Like apparently there's a message sent out to all the cartels being like, not today. And they all were like, yeah, sweet. That noise is happening again.
Did they fix it?
Tunnels and comb.
Sorry about that. That's my fault. I'm using ancient fucking gear.
I think there's also probably enough talking about the psychopathic CEOs because that's 2 times the gear cut. So
Well, we were talking about cartels, bro.
oh, that's right, the Dragon Ball Z thing.
Yes, sir.
Fuck, my bad. Yes, so all the Dragon Ball, the cartel are all Dragon Ball Z fans. All of the cartels, apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently. This is all weird ass shit off social media.
Yeah.
But on TikTok and stuff and Instagram, like they have accounts. And yeah, they're posting these mad tributes and all
now, Do you think that's driven by the rank and file gangsters, or do you think that comes down from the top?
I reckon they must all agree.
Yeah, I guess if all the rank and file agrees, then what's the boss going to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what are you going to be, the one dude hanging out with tons of tough cunts? And you're like, I think Dragon Ball Z's gay. Probably a bad move.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. You're about to. I feel it.
What? Am I going to say that?
I think you're going to say something
say,
ratchet about Dragon Ball Z.
I think you're insecure about your love for Dragon Ball Z, and that's why you think that.
Nah. I'm totally at peace with my shit.
Yeah?
You just like stirring the pot, bro. That's what I'm worried about.
Oh, come on. I haven't even stirred it. You're accusing me of pot stirring. I'm just sitting here.
You're more of a... You're not a pot stirrer. You're more of a table flipper. Yeah.
Thank you. That might be the nicest thing you've said.
Metallica sucks! Just almost chaotic neutral.
Lots of stuff sucks, man. It's not personal.
That's all good. Tons of stuff is bad.
Yeah.
But the cartel thing, I think, is cool.
What did they do? Did they just like hang out and watch Dragon Ball Z? Did they fire their guns in the air? Like what?
I didn't see any footage of it, but yeah, I know that like
there's got to be one of them who chose that day to try to go Super Saiyan.
Oh, I reckon there's if you're in a drug gang and you got tons of cocaine all the time and you think you're the shit.
Yeah.
There's got to be times where they just try. Like, fuck, I put all my energy into being the shit, and now I'm the shit. I'm going to put all my energy into being a fucking Super Saiyan. And all your boys are just like, well, We're going to look real stupid if he does it.
He does have the cocaine.
Yeah, he's got, like, scientifically enough cocaine to turn Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
I still think that'd be the most hilarious thing that happened. Like, out of all the shit in the world, if some one random dude just, I fight everyone and I'm real nice and I can transform. We're just the rest of us like, what?
What was that last part?
Yeah. Transform. We've dealt with trans for a while, but where are you going with this? And then he's like, nah, watch this. Kaboom. Turns huge, big hair. You're like, hey. I don't know if anyone could deal with that.
That would be pretty sick.
All cartels are just like, all hail. We're like, what? This guy's been here 10 minutes. He's got an army. It is one of those things that's just awesome. That when you're a kid, you thought it was cool. Turns out it's still cool.
I did think it was cool when I was a
drug
kid.
dealing murderers think it's cool too.
Yeah. I can see that, man. Yeah. There are lots of people that I know, if their lives had gone different, they might be drug dealers now. But they'd still be at the Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. I know. Fuck. The amount of people I know that love it. Like,
drugs?
No, Dragon Ball Z.
Ah.
Hey, now that you mention it, though, they are all druggies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're people with enough time to watch an anime series.
Yeah, and one like that, like, I still can't believe that I used to run home from school to be there at 4:30
to watch them just scream in a field.
For like 14 minutes. And then you had to wait till the next day. And it's like...
I remember.
I think that's why, like, there was a time where cunts got hard drives and shit.
Yeah.
And we're like, bro, give me all the Dragon Ball Z. And
yeah.
they just sat in their room with an ounce and just... Go Kakarot. Just fucked up, man. Just 19. Rage Against the Machine poster.
Yeah.
No one's telling me what to do. Go Goku.
Man, I hope Goku wins.
Yeah. And then you get to 30 and you're like, huh, it is Superman.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, you sort of change. It's like that thing about, when you're a kid, you love Batman, and then getting older is realizing the Joker's right.
Yeah, I don't identify with that.
I think it's hilarious. I think that's really funny.
When I was a kid, I thought there were cameras watching me at all times.
They were. There was. They're still watching you.
I mean, it's much.
Those cameras
more,
are
like,
called
now.
Jesus. I love the idea they're thinking of you being so indoctrinated, like growing up in that. And then to think of when I hung out with you when we were young.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, bro, yeah. You must have been thinking you were evil.
I thought I was evil for a little bit because I discovered all these things that I had been told were soul-harming and evil turned out to be pretty cool.
How old were you
chill.
when you were like, hey, wait a minute, this is all shit?
What, religion?
Yeah. Your one. Not all of them.
I might have been 10. I remember very clearly going to a Christmas mass, a Catholic mass, because we were proper old school.
You sound it.
So we went to this Catholic mass. The priest said, he got up and told this anecdote. They've always got to give some dumb fucking anecdote. And he gave this anecdote where, well, sometimes a man will go on a date with a woman.
Child.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
He doesn't have to date the children. They work for him. They're just around.
Maybe there's a good kid. No,
he goes, you take a man goes out on a date with a woman. A man goes out on a date with a woman. And he says, I love you to the woman. And she's like, oh, that's very nice. And then he orders the shrimp. And while he's eating the shrimp, he says, I love shrimp. And then the woman enters into what's called an identity crisis. I was 10 years old. I'm like, oh no. Nah, bro. Nah, I'm out. I'm being lectured how to live my life by a dude who has not lived his life.
Yeah,
I'm 10 and I know what he just said is fucked.
Yeah.
No, I'm out. I think that was for me, that was like, oh, okay.
One of those old ass jokes, bro, about like when the missionaries showed up and they were telling everyone about how to fuck. And then there's just one native just stands up being like, bro, you don't play the game, you don't make the rules, bro. And I remember hearing that and being like, hey, wait a minute. How does someone that gets to live their life completely different to us get to tell us how to live our lives? He doesn't have any experience.
No.
I don't even think that cunt pays rent. Like,
Of course not.
Yeah,
No.
just gets a special house next to God's house.
Yeah.
Gets to be God's neighbor, and we pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, shut up, I'm not listening to you. Yeah, when I was real young, we had a sex ed class, and fuck, bro, when they showed up, it was like the 70-year-old religious ed teacher, this fucking gromulon from a basement somewhere in Kawerau that had just been talked into coming into his school. He was a virgin.
Could you define a gromulon for me?
Neck beard.
Yeah.
Fucking
Okay.
before the internet.
Some
though.
kind of basement dweller.
Basement dweller, but with no internet.
Oh, shit.
That's what I'm saying. He's a real weird guy, bro.
Okay.
Like, hangs out at the library,
Yeah.
you know, by himself, but doesn't learn.
Yeah.
One of those dudes.
If that guy doesn't play Dungeons and Dragons, you should be really scared of him.
Oh, we were.
Yeah.
But yeah, this fella shows up, and we all know he's virgin as, and he's here for the sex ed. And then the chick walks in, who was like clearly the reformed, you know, teenage slut that's gotten to like 24 and gone,
Oh.
I need to fix this now.
Really?
And bro, it was only about an hour lesson, but they were some of the funniest shit I've ever seen happen in school.
It does. Just hearing you introduce the
Yeah.
three people, it does sound like you learned some pretty valuable lessons.
Oh, like even just the dude being like, okay, so, and one of my mates just being like, shut up, and the dude being like, and just shutting up. And another teacher having to be like, excuse me, and jump in and like, just real, like, bully ass, ratchet cunt shit. Just, they hated school, they hated Kawerau, they hated life. I got it. I just felt the same. They just had more balls. But yeah, when you got like this old ass lady, a virgin, and some reformed girl trying to fucking tell you to not have sex, and the boys are just teeing off on them, eh? And it's like, you know, you want to wait until marriage until you make love. And the bros are like, what if you make love to her face? Can you do that earlier? Like, like just dumbass shit. Yeah, Mister's anal count. And you're just watching the dude squirming in his chair because he just obviously...
That's got to be every lesson for them, doesn't it? Like,
you'd think so, but I don't know. The bros just went way harder. Like,
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I've watched dudes at my school stand up and just be like, what cunt? To the teacher, and the teacher be like, oh, I'm sorry, whatever I did say or you heard, I take back. And you're like, nah, you're supposed to him out here. Like, even the dudes doing it, we would walk out of class and they'd be like, can you believe that word, bro? Fuck, they can drop nuts, bro. I didn't even know they could do that. Like, it's so
amazing.
Funny. Yeah, I love that shit. This is so hard case thinking back to that.
Yeah.
All Dragon Ball Z fans
being a dick
too,
for no reason.
About it.
All Dragon Ball Z fans? All the boys standing up in class were Dragon Ball Z fans?
Yeah, all of those ones that were fucking with that sexy class.
Yeah. They would... I mean, was there something similar... Was there something similar here, bro? Do you reckon?
What do you mean?
In New Zealand?
Dragon
we
Ball
got
Z.
gangs here, bro. Do you reckon that when Akira Toriyama died? Do you reckon anybody...
Oh, definitely.
Anybody, like, laid down there?
Oh, there totally would have been a weird Mongrel Mob hip-hop song dedicated to Dragon Ball Z, bro.
Have you heard any mob music? Like Kiwi mob music?
Have you seen it live?
Oh, nah.
I've seen it live.
Yeah, oh, really?
Yeah, just a little band, and it was just like, whoa, this is way different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is pretty different stuff.
Yeah. Seeing dudes I knew, like, who would freestyle.
Yeah.
Who were into the gang shit, into mob and stuff like that. And hard out freestylers, real good with music, and then they'd go in, come back out, and it's like, they'd start, and you're like, oh, how's your music? And they're like, bro, don't do that shit out. And you're like, oh, fuck, you've like cut off this part of you in order to do this.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, okay.
There's a guy I know who showed me gang music, and he showed me this Black Power song that was like a tribute to their fallen brother.
Yeah.
Well, he got real into... I don't know. He just, I don't know what came first, but he told me one time that he'd been playing like Fortnite and Apex Legends and shit, but the whole time he's role-playing as a gangster and never breaking character.
Oh, yeah, bro, I know fellas who do that.
Yeah, really?
They'd like have their own gangs on GTA
this is going to be like guys, like cops stinging each other for child sex material, but it's guys pretending to be gangsters on. That ruins it for me.
Bro. No, I know of a dude,
bro, because he goes
real
like,
nice straight laced sort of fella.
Yeah,
and in the game he was like he had a gang in the game where they would all roll around and meet up and have talks and like patch overs and shit. And and like in character, like fully like, but you want to come at us? And it's like, dude, your name's Jason. Like, it's like, and he's fucking from like Parnell.
This guy would arrange to meet people.
Yeah.
He'd be like people would, they'd be like, I'm Black Prairie, I'm monkey as fuck, bro. And he'd fully like role play, and then his missus would come in and be like, babe, your avocado toast is ready.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'll be right there, babe. Yeah.
I know.
And then
they're
like, whoa, what the fuck was that? He reckons, he goes, bro, just trying to treat her like the beautiful wahine she is, bro. And they're like, oh, yeah.
Bro, I've had weird moments online. Like, I never got into the playing hard out, but I had heaps of mates who did. And I'd always just grab the headset while they played and just talk shit to strangers. Like, I'm real good at it. So
yeah, sure.
Yeah, I ripped out one dude, bro, who was from Aussie. And he's like, oh, just another sheep shagger from New Zealand, eh? And I ended up turning it of like, bro, you come from Aussie. And like, just went on this ratchet as rant about Aussie and descending from like just being British Texas, and you're just English pit bulls that got let out, and you formed Australia, and you're like, we're our own thing. And it's like, no, you're not. You're like the Maldives of white people. Like, you got this island and you're like, hey, we're our own thing. And everyone was like, yeah, okay, bro, sure, yeah, here's all our shit. And that's like, yeah, Maldives are that of the Pacific. Like, we're our own different thing. And
oh shit, okay, you finally
like, yeah.
I spent that whole time like, what do you mean what do you mean the Maldives of white people?
Yeah, no, they claim their island, they say they're different, and everyone's like, sure you are, bro. And then the Maldives are like looking at the Pacifica people being like, oh, cousins, we're different. And they're like, you live on an island in the Pacific, cuz you're the same. And we're like, totally different. And then it's like, okay, bro, sure you are. We're going to take a quick break anyway.
I didn't know about that dynamic. That's cool as hell. Let's come back with a little bit more news. I got one more thing.
Oh, you want to just keep going?
Yeah, so we do this news first.
Yeah.
That little whoopsie that I described before. This via the BBC. 5 people have died after a parachute failed on an aid package dropped by air into Gaza on Friday, reports say.
That seems way more tragic than the first one.
I mean, but the first one was deliberate, and I'd already said that one of them was a whoopsie. This one is, of the two, it's the whoopsie.
Fuck, hey, you can't even help people right.
An eyewitness said, and the health ministry there have both said 5 people were killed when at least one parachute failed to deploy there. The idea of dropping humanitarian aid that kills the poor people that you're trying to help, it's like you're a surf lifesaver and you jump in an IRB and you just run the drowning dude over. Or no, you don't even.
Have you ever tried to grab something out of water and your hand pushes the thing under further?
Yeah.
And you have to like push it against the edge and scrape it up to get it out?
Sure.
I imagine that with King Kong when he saves the woman from the water.
Okay.
I'm like, that doesn't happen. He'd have to push her to the thing and then scratch her around. That's this helping someone like that. Like, oh, help this thing out of the water.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, squish.
I've wrecked
push
it.
To the side.
Yeah.
Pull it out and it's all fucked up. That's that energy.
So it's almost like you need to take a step back and go, let me take a look at the bigger picture here. Like, why is all of this happening, you know?
But even, like, we're going to help them. So you just yeet some dried fucking milk and powdered milk and potatoes and eggs out of a C-37 or whatever they're fucking called.
Yeah.
And like, what? You got a fucking missile you can shoot down a ventilation shaft.
Yeah.
But you can't slingshot a banana.
You're thinking of Star Wars.
No, I'm not.
No, they can hit like a hospital, but not like a ventilation shaft on a hospital.
I guarantee you there is something out there that's like a tiny little bee-sized drone that they can fly down in a ventilation shaft and blow up.
You might be right. You might be right.
Might be. Keep reading your tales.
Here's one of the interesting things about this story is it's not clear who dropped that one. So a few of them came down too fast and one of them came down really too fast. It's not clear who dropped which ones. Nobody's taken responsibility for it.
Who's dropping them?
The US, Jordan, Egypt, France. the Netherlands and Belgium. They were all dropping aid at the time. Nobody said they've done it. Some of them have said, we definitely didn't do it. The US, for instance, we've confirmed that all our aid bundles landed safely on the ground.
Happy
Apparently,
Gilmore,
they have some way to know that. They
it's
put
Happy
like an
Gilmore. They shouldn't have been
accelerometer on the pallet, right? Like
they shouldn't have been standing there. That's their argument to it.
Yeah,
So whoever did its argument.
I mean, whoever did it is just like,
that's atrocious, eh? Can't even help right.
Yeah. I mean, that's got to be so fucking demoralizing if you're one of the few people who's like, we're paying the other guys to shell their houses, but they're also starving. Can we at least fucking send them some muesli bars or whatever?
Oh, man.
And then it drops and kills. 3 of them were children, I believe. Because dude, 40% of people in Gaza are under 14.
Yeah.
So depending where you cut off kid, probably more than half of them are kids. The reason that they're airdropping aid into Gaza is because of this other story here.
Well, you can't let
also from
allowed
the
to drive in.
At least 112 Palestinians are said to have been killed and 760 injured trying to get desperately needed aid in Gaza. So there's a convoy of lorries going into... this is from the BBC, that's why it says lorries. There's a convoy of trucks going into Gaza City. And there are also some Israeli tanks there, and also I have this picture from the Israeli Defense Force looking at it. You'll notice that's a crosshair there. I didn't add that. I guess maybe their drones just have. Well, it depends who you ask, actually, Helvers. If you ask the IDF, they stampeded and trampled each other. If you ask the doctors that treated the wounded, they were all full of bullets and stuff. Like weird. Maybe the guys have bullets on their shoes, and it's like a real weird, quick stampede. So they've got the Israeli Defense Force, which is a great name for an army, I have to say. We have it here, the New Zealand Defence Force. So the Israeli Defence Force, if you go to the trucks that are going to give you aid, they shoot you, like hundreds of you. If the trucks try to get through the north, so those are Egyptian trucks that have come in. The trucks that try to come in through the north, the Israeli civilians have set up their own blockade, and they won't let the aid trucks through. And they are like, they've got like dance music on and stuff. They're like, no, fuck you, let our hostages go. Then you can have your aid. So that's the ways that you can get aid into Gaza. Or you can drop it from a parachute and, the aid got there.
Don't waste your nights, do you, Jiz?
Is there a more ironic situation than dropping humanitarian aid that kills 5 people?
Yeah, there is. It's
what is it?
Telling everybody for like 100 years that it was really, really ratchet when you got genocided, and then doing one. That's as ironic as that.
Well,
yeah, they're the new bad guys.
That depends who you ask too, bro.
They're the new bad guys. Fuck them.
I think there's a lot of bad guys.
Yeah, but...
And they're one of the bad guys.
They're definitely... Like, if you're in Israel right now and you're like, fuck you, give our hostages back. It's like, dude, this isn't Monty Python. That Black Knight doesn't have any arms or legs left. You've fucked them up. Well, they've still got like 100 people of ours. It's like, they're all kids.
Yeah.
What, you think the 12 adults left have coordinated this thing on you? There was 15 of them. You've killed 3 of them. But, like, I just cannot work out how you could have that mentality. Give our hostages back. Bro, you've taken everything off these people.
Yeah.
And it's pretty clear that the kids that you're fucking over didn't come up with this plan to fucking paraglide into a music festival.
The 40% of residents of Gaza that are under 14 years of age, of the 2 and some million people that are there, were born after the last time there was an election.
Yeah.
They didn't
see, this is why there's so many white people with dreadlocks walking around Wellington doing graffiti in support of Palestine, eh? Because it's fucking upsetting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it wouldn't take much for a little cunt who's just taking shrooms to suddenly spiral the fuck out hearing all this shit. Like, it's so weird. Like, do you ever think about how when our parents, like, around the 60s, late 50s, early 60s, that generation, the boomers, the ones I hate, they're the first ones, though, to be born with nuclear options. Like, they were told, like, hey, at any point, there could be this flash, and you all just turn to bones. And then they had to like grow with that. We were born with it bred into us, like it was already in our bones.
There could be a 9/11 at any moment.
It could be a 9/11 times 100. Like, we're that sort of. But then these other little cunts, and it's like, wow, you growing up and not knowing anything except that. Like, we had Jonah Lomu and Princess Diana.
Yeah.
Who do these cunts have?
Who, the young bucks or the
anyone
Garzons?
After 2000?
I mean, they have their own people who I don't know or care about, I guess. They must have their own people.
No Jonah Lomus, though.
They've got Zendaya and Mr. Beast.
It's just interesting. Just buzzing me out thinking about it. These poor little cunts. Because, you get what I mean, though. Like, boomers grew up and then, playing.
I think feeling sorry for the next generation. I think we should feel financially sorry for them and environmentally sorry for them. And, other than that, that we shouldn't pity anything that we haven't fucking done to them.
This next generation will be the ones who, because of new versions of, like, black market steroids, they just eat us.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna run. We all got bad knees.
No, you keep saying that. You keep projecting that onto me. You have bad knees. My knees are great.
Great?
Great. Yeah. My knees are great.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was meant to say ankle of the hand. How's their wrist?
The ankle of the hand.
I'll catch you later. We'll be back soon.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, some fool kid raised on stories of clouds and stars get it in his head to go to the surface. Prisoners of the sky, they call them. Feels easier than the truth. Some pray for them, light candles.
So much wrong with you.
Scratch their names on the wall. I try to forget them. I learned a long time ago, there's only one refuge. The tunnels.
Tunnel talk, everybody.
Wow.
What did you think of that? Invigorated? Are you fucking pumped for tunnel talk, dude?
I'm fucking something. That was just every time you take it to this zenith.
Look,
it's cool.
I want to get people excited for tunnel talk. I feel the buzz in the community. People are excited, and I want to keep that going. And that,
yep.
Look, it hyped me up. Okay.
It hyped you up talking like that.
It hyped me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure did.
Yeah, of course it did. You got a southern accent and a fucking enemy. Yes, fucking halfway there, mate. Have you got a special hat when you put that voice on?
But what is the enemy?
Surface. What do you... Sky, whatever the fuck is...
No, you don't know.
It's anti-mole people.
You were just so taken by the tone of it. You were visualizing yourself in a tunnel.
Oh, as soon as I heard the first couple of drips.
Hell yeah.
You did well. It was very immersive. It felt like it could have been the start of a game.
Yeah. I get that vibe sometimes. But it's not. It's the start of Tunnel Talk. And this week I wanted to talk about CERN, specifically the Large Hadron Collider at CERN.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Geneva, Switzerland. The high-end physics lab They do a lot of nerdy physics stuff,
Right,
but they also do some
kick off-
super fucking cool tunneling.
Before you kick into it, is some of it under France?
You know, I'm not sure, but I might have a map here. Yeah, I think you're right. That's a French flag, right?
Because one
Is
of
that
the things,
French flag?
Yep.
Yeah, bro.
One of the things I remember about this was that when they said, "Hey, we've done it," or we're thinking of this, France was like, "Nah, you're not doing it." And they were like, "We've already done it."
I didn't read that in the CERN Courier, bro.
And they were like, "We've already done it." And France was like, "No shit, keep it." Yeah. And
because they were cool about it.
Because they didn't realize, like, they were like, "You can't do this," and they're like, "We already did." And they're like, "That's amazing."
Yeah.
And,
okay, show us.
No, I'm not even mad. I'm impressed. Like, one of those, but on a global, national sort of thing.
That's no fair enough. This tunnel is pretty sick.
But how big is it?
It's 29-kilometer circumference.
Circumference is your rap name. Sorry, it was right there.
That's all right. It's a 29-kilometer circumference tunnel. So when they build a tunnel like this, well, not that anything like this had really been done. They've done like roading tunnels and stuff, like train tunnels and all that, but they hadn't really done anything like this. It wasn't actually made for the Large Hadron Collider. It was made for the experiment that preceded that.
You have to send me that link and I'll fucking get the map up.
Yeah, sure, man. It's for anyone listening, it's cerncourier.com, and the article is Tunneling for Physics.
Sick.
It is pretty sick.
This is your new Pornhub, eh?
Tunneling for Physics. Yeah. And I'm what? Well, I'm circumference.
Yeah. See?
Sorry, 27-kilometer circumference.
It's still insane, eh?
Yeah, there's a previous thing which I tried so hard to commit to memory, and my memory just won't do it. But this particle collider that they're using, when they bore the tunnels, right? So they dig down from one spot and they send tunneling machines in different directions.
Yep.
Right? So they send two out, and
they
where
have to
they
be perfect.
meet up, well, there's a margin of error. The amount of error that they ended up with at the end of 27 kilometers, so 13.5 kilometer arc each, 1 centimeter.
Really?
Yeah.
What are they aiming?
It's less than half an inch for our American listeners. I don't know what they were aiming for, but they seem very proud of the fact that these are 5.6 diameter.
That's the shit, bro.
5.6 meter diameter boring machines.
That's insane, eh?
Yeah, even if I put those in a straight line, like a meter apart, I'm not gonna we're not gonna get 1 centimeter.
You'd have to take into account like so many things.
Yeah.
In order to perform that to that.
That's what's so interesting about these nerds making this particular tunnel.
Tunnels for physics, cuz.
Yeah, bro. Well, they've got their own, I might be getting ahead of myself, but they've got their own software that they invented specifically to make the next tunnel that they're going to do. Because they want it to be 100-kilometer circumference, and they want it to be in Geneva.
Dude,
they made their own software.
I have to interrupt and ask, who the fuck pays for this?
Nerds, bro.
Yeah, but can you be a bit more specific on that one?
I don't know who gives, like universities give research grants and stuff.
That's so much money, though.
Yeah, it's a fair bit. I mean, it's
and they want to make a 100-kilometer one. Like
they want to make a
100-kilometer,
100-kilometer circumference.
Holy shit!
So they to figure out how they could do this, they made their own computer system. I did have its name here. Sorry, give me a
Jesus, fuck, that's cool.
That's crazy, right?
Because it's hard enough to wrap your head around what they're trying to achieve. Like the particle collision to find they're trying to smash particles together to find, oh shit, I can't remember the name.
They were trying to find the Higgs boson.
So
I think it was the LEC before that, but then when they upgraded it, they can shoot heavier particles. Like they isolate
so when they make
particular subatomic particle from lead and like ionize it and then send it through at the speed of light at another one. So they can send like hadrons and fucking.
But so like two things,
neutrons, or
two like particles smashed together.
And for a moment they make stuff that nobody had ever seen. Like, but they look at it and go, but that exists now. That's a thing that can exist in the universe.
That's insane, eh?
Yeah, because so much of the the crazy phenomenon that we see is very far away, or we just don't understand it at all, and when we try and understand it, it breaks our understanding of physics. So what they ended up making was the tunnel optimization tool, or TOT. What they do with this is they get their 100-kilometer ring, and they can position it topographically and subterranean in Geneva. And they've worked out that some of it, like the way that where they have to build it, they can't tunnel in specific parts because it's made of the specific limestone that's plagued the existing Large Hadron Collider tunnel. Yeah. So like sections 3 and 4 of it are under constant intense maintenance because it's a crazy unstable limestone. One of the things they've done before I move on with this with TOT, they put this ring down and it goes through like mountainous areas and stuff, so that lets them choose like, hey, the vertical shaft that we were going to have here, it's going to be like 1.8 kilometers long. How about we put it on an angle? Right, and now the shaft is half the length. Like because they're super nerds who are studying like what comes out when you fire little protons at each other at the speed of light at near absolute zero. Yeah, bro.
So these are the guys who are so good at science. They're finding the glue that holds everything together.
Yes, and you get these motherfuckers building a tunnel, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, so
look in the eye.
This tunnel optimization. I was fired up about this certain tunnel, bro. This tunnel optimization tool. They worked out, because they had it, they can work out how far it needs to encroach into Lake Geneva, and they've worked out what they're working on at the moment, I believe, is whether the whole tunnel system can work on like a 10-degree tilt, which means they don't have to do like aqueous, tunnels that are impervious to water. They can go beneath the lake bed and save themselves like crazy amounts of
maintenance,
all kinds of stuff.
Holy shit.
Yo, but this...
Fuck, that like hurts your head to try and comprehend how hard that would be.
Yeah. They have to, like, they probably consider this donkey work, bro. Yeah, like, making a crude fucking tunnel.
I hope that you say that when they're, like, on the piss, and it's like, go talk to her, bro. It's not that hard. It's not making tunnels, man. It's like, that's what they say for rocket science.
Yeah, bro.
Come on, dude. You could do this.
Another thing that's going on in these tunnels...
not geographically mapping the environment in order to create a tunnel on a slant. We do that all day. That's insane.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
But they're so far above the... whatever. They make their own software that helps them do all this shit. One of the things they've done is they've got a dog robot that walks through the tunnels, and they also have a monorail robot. Like an AI-powered thing that can run on a monorail through this tunnel system. I think they have a bunch of them that can run through this tunnel system, making like maintenance assessments, seeing how the environment's changed. Is there a crack on that wall where it wasn't before?
They have
teams of robots patrolling the tunnels to make sure that they're like safe and it's not going to break all their expensive stuff.
Disagree.
Okay.
That's fucking gnarly. They're making like little robots to maintain the big things.
Yes, they want to know the hard out physics stuff so much that they've got to do all this other work like tunneling and making AI monorail robots and shit. Yeah. They try and design all the robots so they complement one another, so they don't make
like
two robots the same. Yeah, and they don't take one and then make a version of it that does something different. They make like a complementary robot. So if they make one on legs, the next one they make will have tracks or run on a monorail or have like, yeah, bro, or be a drone. Yeah, bro, they do.
That's insanely cool.
And it's all got to work with this ultra sensitive instrument working
France
all the time.
Was sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah,
now.
they got dicked on by like methed up Germans. They don't want some like really mathematical Swiss coming at them.
I think you should be very careful talking about people getting dicked on by methed up Germans.
Why?
Because that's literally Hitler.
I know.
That's why it's funny.
All right.
I didn't know you knew. I thought you were making a different quote.
No.
That's brilliant.
Well no, Hitler, he went over there.
He liked the myth.
I wouldn't call myself a World War II buff, but I know Hitler was a bad guy. I didn't watch those speeches, bro. I might change my mind.
I was going to say, don't watch those speeches. Nah, I'm so buzzed out. Like, yeah, all I knew about CERN was, obviously it's some pretty high level science that I couldn't quite wrap my head around, and that I knew the base sort of particle accelerator thing. And I remember when it was announced, and France was like, "No way, you can't do this," and they're like, "We've already done it." And they're like, "Okay, this is pretty cool. You guys can keep it."
Yeah,
it's insane. A
lot of tunneling stories. If you go on a deep dive on them, the tangents that it takes you to, you can understand them. I haven't understood pretty much any of the physics. You can grasp it on a surface level what they're talking about with a few things. Well, I will speak for myself. That's what I've experienced. But I haven't been rabbit holed into other topics, and I come back to the tunnels. So I'm like, no, that's
just to see if this works. Do you like Dan Brown, the Da Vinci Code guy?
Do I like him?
Have you read any of his shit? Do you watch?
I've read, I think maybe 2 of his books. Yeah.
Have you read or seen Angels and Demons?
Is that the Tom Hanks one?
They're all Tom Hanks.
Are they all Tom Hanks ones?
Yeah, bro. He's always Robert Langdon.
Okay. I don't think I've seen Angels and Demons.
Oh, that starts at CERN.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's about the God particle getting, it's about to be shown to the world.
Yeah.
That they've made.
This is before, 2000, whenever they found it.
I can't remember. There's something huge, this thing.
I feel like I read Dan Brown.
Angels and Demons?
Nah, I don't think I read Angels and Demons.
Oh, well, anyway, it's like somebody steals it, and they're using it to make an explosion at the Vatican or something. To use science killing God.
Maybe I did read it.
Yeah, but it starts at CERN. It's just a hard case because there's this thing about a priest who's a scientist, and it's like you're not supposed to be both, and all that sort of shit.
Yeah, Dan
pretty
Brown
fun
loved
book.
that stuff, right?
Yeah. I think Dan Brown's fun.
It's pretty fun,
but people sort of ruined it by thinking it was real.
Yeah. His I think his Da Vinci Code, it might start with somebody dying on a scale and their body weight changing as their soul leaves their body. Is that Da Vinci Code?
No, bro.
Nah.
That's way dumber than Da Vinci Code.
Yeah.
Where the fuck have you got
that's
that
a
from?
Dan Brown thing, and I read it and I was like, okay, so it's just going to be like a silly.
Is it?
I think so.
Fact check yourself.
Fact check your fucking self.
I just think that was a great way to say it.
What the fuck? How do I write that down even? Dan Brown dying, losing weight.
Soul scale?
C4 explosives.
Not quite.
The Lost Symbol is the book I'm thinking of. The Lost Symbol appears to be what that comes from.
And someone dies, and they have a scale that can weigh the soul leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some white girl with crystals told you ages ago shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's from this book, but I already knew that it wasn't a
Is Lost Symbol the one in Washington?
They're all in Washington, aren't they? Washington's amazing.
No, the first one's fucking at the Louvre.
Da Vinci Code is in... yeah. And all the Dan Browns running together in my... Because it's trash. It doesn't matter.
No, I'm just...
It's like asking me at what season of American Dad Stan was... I don't know. Haley had HPV. Like, I don't know whether that was season 2 or season 9.
A lot of arm flailing going on here. No, Da Vinci Code is like, aren't they at the Louvre?
I don't know.
And then
that stuff all just
Angels and Demons.
We're getting a confirmation.
Angels and Demons is the Vatican.
This stuff just washes over me, bro. I don't know.
And Lost Symbol, I believe, is in Washington.
Okay.
Yeah. See, I read Inferno, which I thought was really cool. And it brings in like transhumanism and shit like that. And there's a book and a movie. Now the book gets to this. Fuck it! Spoiler alert! I don't care.
Oh.
It gets to the end where there's like this bomb, and if it goes off, it's gonna release a virus that'll sterilize a third of the planet.
Oh no!
And they're like, we can't fucking let this happen. Like people have to decide. Right. And anyway, they go through this massive turmoil. And they get there, and it's gone off. And there's nothing you can do. It's already happened.
Okay.
And it's a very weird end to the book. Quite cool. The movie, I sat my missus down and was like, I know this is crazy shit, but this is a fucking great book. We should watch it.
Yeah.
And she was like, fuck, it's pretty cool. I'm enjoying it. And it gets to the end and I'm like, wait for this shit. And they change it. And it's like a fucking, it's just a bomb and it's going to go off and Tom Hanks stops it. And I'm like, fuck this Gumby cunt. How does he always...
That sucks.
It sucks nuts, bro.
Did you ever hear about when they show Fight Club in China?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Bro, at the end of it,
Yeah,
well, you might know, but at the end of it, they change it. Before all the buildings blow up, an interstitial comes up and it says... Tyler Durden was arrested by the authorities.
And placed in a mental hospital. Did you know the writer of Fight Club reckons that's better than I could have ever come up with?
He doesn't care.
No, he was like, that makes my point.
Yeah.
Way more than I ever could.
Yeah, of course.
He's like, I never ever would have thought of that. That's so good that I'm trying to say, hey, this. And they like did something to make his point.
Yeah.
I think that was pretty clever.
But so little as well that you can change the tone of the whole movie by cutting out the last 4 seconds.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Does that mean there's a generation or there's a whole group of people in China who watched Fight Club and didn't get to like the Pixies?
I don't know if they put Chinese music on it.
No. If you cut the movie right where they did.
No, I think they cut the footage and they leave the soundtrack. I don't know. They'll take out the explosions, but it's easy enough to put a Pixies song back in.
That's what I'm wondering though. Like, did they cut it and it's just like?
I don't know. We should find a Chinese.
Yeah, because it'd just be so ratchet to sit through Fight Club and not hear "Where Is My Mind."
Yeah.
If you're a 15-year-old Chinese person,
if you're 15 Chinese people,
if you're 15 Chinese people, yeah, you get what I mean. It's like fuck. Sit through that whole movie to not hear that. That'd be a kick in the teeth.
Yeah, it would.
Especially if you were like, one of your mates be like, bro, that's not even how it ends. The government did that. Like, you'd have a mohawk the next day, bro.
Easily.
Easily. Yes. Or some weird music genre you're suddenly into that you weren't.
Yeah.
Can I be a dick and you grab a beer?
Yeah.
Sick.
Is this, how we doing with tunnel talk here? Are we finished?
I think we're pretty close. Have you got any more tunnel? Just the CERN stuff?
The CERN stuff is what I looked at in depth. Let me just...
CERN stuff was what you saw in depth?
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
Let me review my notes and see if there's any beautiful stuff that I missed here.
All I found was there's some awesome place in the Coromandel, Karangahape or Karangahake. I can't remember how it was, but
I can't remember which either, but it's really beautiful.
It looks really fucking cool, and there's tunnels you can go through and shit.
Yeah. I've been through those tunnels, bro. Been through the rail tunnels at least.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
I probably have. I just don't remember.
Right. So here's the ways that they could do the tunnel. Oh shit! It's super deep, right? I think it's like 150 meters deep. Because of this, if you look at this topographical map here, Helvers, the original planned depth of 45 to 50 meters, they'd have to do an immersed tube tunnel, which is obviously crazy difficult. At 85 to 90 meters, they go through this the moraines, like this weird kind of unstable stuff. But if they take it from 150 to 180 meters on that 10-degree incline, they get solid rock, and they miss the lake. So it's going to be a crazy deep operation as well. They are super proud of this tunnel.
I would be. You know how you said about it being like 1 centimeter? The margin of error.
Yeah, when the two tunnels met each other. Yeah, 1 centimeter.
There's like some story from China of this emperor wanted to build this massive fucking structure. And they asked the architect. And he was like, yeah, it's going to take X amount.
Yeah.
I need X amount of bricks. And I need this many people. And I need this and this and this.
Sure.
And the emperor's advisor, like, interrupted him. And was like, are you sure you know what you're doing? And he went, can I have one more brick?
Ah, yes!
And the emperor looked at him and laughed and was like, yep, okay then. And on the day of completion, he rocked in with 1 brick and put it on that dude's desk and walked out.
Yes!
Yeah, and the apparently the emperor was just like, well, you're fired. And all because this one architect's maths was that fucking perfect.
that is killer.
Yeah. So that's what this feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody's at that
It
level.
is a bit like that. They threw a bit of shade on Elon Musk, bro.
Oh,
out of nowhere at the end of one of these tunneling articles.
That's right at the end there. You're right at the end of getting a blowy and she puts a thumb in your ass. That's how you would have felt, bro. Like tunnels, physics, robots. And then they shit on Elon right at the last minute. That's a thumb in the ass for Jizzy.
I'm going to take your word on the thumb on the ass thing. However, they did say at the end of this, so it might not have been the very end of the tunneling research. It might have been the part of the CERN website that leads you to the tunneling. But anyways, what it said was at the end of another article, it's like, contrary to what Elon Musk would have you believe, there have been great advancements in tunneling over the last 50 years. Because when he was doing his fake hyperlink thing to sell more Teslas, when he was doing that,
holy shit!
I don't know if we need to play the stinger for him, but just remember that there are pictures of him with.
I will totally make sure that happens.
Okay, good.
Sweet, yeah, I'll totally make sure that happens, or happened. It may have.
Maybe it will have already happened, Elvis. Who knows?
Maybe it's always happening forever, like it is perpetual. No.
So his whole tunneling operation was fake, totally bullshit.
Shit.
Yeah. We don't even need to talk about that though. This has been a spirited tunnel talk. You know what's been exciting is a friend has reached out to me, someone who has the tunnel bug. And they've passed on something.
We got one.
Yeah, they've passed on something very. I mean, bro, lots of people are pumped on the tunnels. Like when I talk to people that have listened to the show, people are excited, man.
It's fun to be a part of it.
Yeah,
but like I said too earlier, it's something really cool to plan something, get all your shit together, do it, have a great time, and at the end of it, find out you like something else. Like, in the same vein, it's like you're into music, you make a band, you go and play a gig, you come away from it being like, holy fuck, I didn't know I liked this other music that I heard tonight. Or you just discover something weird by just putting all your eggs in one basket and going for it. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. We're having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think we're going to close it out now though, because I'm about to get in trouble. But
I hope, did you enjoy the new Tunnel Talk stinger?
I did. Once again, worried about you.
There's no need to be worried. I'm trying to express myself as best I can.
That's why I'm worried. It was better when you were all sullen and fucking playing all this weird Jeff Buckley shit. Now you're all like, fucking, check out this new thing.
Here's my voice. I'm a low voice Texan.
Even that though, like, little worried on that though. I should point that out. Like, southern voice. Trying to pick a new person to pick on.
Do you want to fire up that Hitler video for me, bro?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear the segments prior. I just want to hear the tunneling part. In my heart I have but one desire,